Okay. Hey, good evening, everybody. The Indiana Township Board of Supervisors regular meeting for November the 12th is called to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before we start, I do want to announce that we did have an executive session prior to this meeting for litigation, legal matters, as well as personnel matters. So the first item up this evening would be for the approval of the October 8th meeting minutes.
Make a motion to approve the October 8th minutes.
Real quick, I think there does need to be an edit at the bottom of page 2. The comment about EMS coverage, I believe that was Adam Siganowski who made that comment, not Al Cohen.
Correct.
Yeah.
Thank you for catching that.
So I think that does need to be changed.
Okay. It was Adam Simonowski,
Oh, it's
not
Adam.
Al
Okay,
Cohen.
okay, thank you.
Other than that, I'm fine.
Okay, so we have a motion. Can we have a second, please?
Second.
All right.
Well, the
We'll
motion should be,
amend it.
yeah,
As an amended motion,
Yeah.
yes. Okay, so we have a second, we have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously as amended. The next item up would be the Citizens Forum. I see we have two speakers this evening. Ms. Owens. Your name for the record, please, and are you a resident of Indiana Township?
And yes, I am a resident of Indiana. I have two, doesn't sound,
It's on, Mike. Go ahead. I think we can.
I can restart it.
No, the microphone isn't
Is the microphone?
It's
when
on.
I come in,
Can you,
I have.
there,
It sounds like
Yeah.
it's voice activated. You have to,
Okay, Nettie Owens, I am a township resident. So I have two things that I wanted to talk about tonight. The first is just a reminder that since you are talking about budget and reviewing budget, that this is a great time to consider including the costs for live streaming. It looks like there is enough space in the budget to include the costs for live streaming. I know, the capital improvement fund has availability. There's availability for a lot of different considerations, and we already have most of the infrastructure that we need to make this a reality. Aspinwall Borough operates their system for under $3,500 annually. So it is definitely a possibility for us to keep it within budget. Other townships around us have considered it a meaningful, worthwhile investment, and I don't see why ours would not as well. But there's also costs we're not calculating, the potential cost of ADA non-compliance, which we've discussed before, the cost of continued resident frustration and disengagement, the cost of litigations when citizens feel they are consistently ignored, which has been a problem in this township. More broadly, we're already funding in-person meetings, the building, electricity, AV equipment, staff time, printed materials. We don't question those expenses because they're necessary for public access. Live streaming is simply extending that same access to residents who can't physically attend. We fund what we prioritize, the infrastructure exists, the budget accommodates it, the only barrier is your willingness. The other issue that I want to bring up is that Shields Paving had done a project in the Republic area, and I called multiple times about issues that were related to that project. Namely, the township did not clearly communicate the impact that this project was going to have on citizens. That might have been one issue in and of itself. If Shields Paving had come through and done what they needed to do, which was have flaggers on hand to direct traffic and make sure that people were safe. Multiple head-on, almost collisions happened during that time. Children were dropped off and had to walk through. Is this not important enough to you?
It is, it's good that the rules are the rules.
Can we give her a little extra time with the mic situation? 40 seconds, go.
40 seconds.
Thank you. Children were dropped off and had to walk through the construction zone. There were no flaggers to direct the postal service. They did not deliver the mail for one day because they couldn't get through. And my understanding is that Shields Paving came in under budget for what was suggested. It's one of the reasons that we selected them. If we're going to use them in the future, they need to have the staff that's appropriate for doing a project like this so that people stay safe.
Thanks, Natty.
Thank you.
For the record, I'm still for the live stream. Just need a few more votes.
We have the next speaker up, Shannon Solt. Name and are you a township resident?
Hi, my name is Dr. Shannon Solt, and yes, I'm a township resident.
Thank you.
I just wanted to bring up a concern that I had recently. I was part of a, event, where EMS needed to respond, and, it took 20+ minutes for us to get EMS services there for a woman who was requiring CPR. My concern stems from the fact that I am a member of Indiana Township, and I live another 5 to 10 minutes away from where that was, and so my concern is for myself and my neighbors. If an event like that were to happen for us, and we were to rely on the EMS services that we currently have in our community, that could be the difference between that and that.
James, just to say a word, so I talked to Kelly and Adam, who are also, Kelly was also a student at the Berkeley camp, and I've been in communication with Dan Gohumes, our EMS director, and we're looking to make sure it was done according to protocol. We'll be on that, but I just wanted to flag an issue that was in the budget that we kind of glossed over. My main concern is to see the budget of EMS allocation go from 40,000 in 2025 to 40,000, to 25,000 in 2026. I think, as we talked about, development helping us pay the bills supposedly, that also means more people. I knocked on over 100 more doors. We really need to be investing in EMS. I've talked to Dan, I'm hoping to improve that number, but I'm happy to work with you, Adam, Kelly, and everybody who was impacted by this, because it's heart-wrenching just to hear about. It's unimaginable to think about going through that with your actual family. So we want to get the EMS thing right. So just stay in touch with me, and hopefully we can have a nice number on that EMS line by December, so I feel comfortable voting yes on the budget.
That would be wonderful. I just want to make sure that everyone in this room, every one of our neighbors are.
Thank you.
So, Jonathan, did we, was someone looking into what, was there cause, we don't have to worry about it now, was there a cause for this, or was there something was going on in the background that?
I mean, maybe we wait for the EMS report. I don't know if Bill would want to
Yeah,
speak to it.
I have the
or
police
Dan would
report
wanna
too from the
speak to
incident.
it.
It's in the office. It didn't really want to cover those details in the meeting. However, I would point out, and I did go over when he brings up the issue of the budget for EMS, I don't want that information misrepresented. I don't want you to think that there was $40,000 given to Westier EMS this year and $20,000 next year. What was budgeted for this year was because we built a EMS substation in our building. Actually, we spent a total of about $69,000 in building that substation so that we could house EMS here for a quicker response. For over a year before having that constructed, which we just completed this summer, Westier had been operating out of our building during regular business hours, and they only limited the weekdays daylight. Now, with the facility they have, they can operate out of there 24/7, and they have staffed it, and we expect to see an improvement with that. Westier absorbed Seneca EMS, who dissolved, who was the original cover for 3 of the 5 districts in the township. And now they cover the entire township because we had the 2 EMS agencies seeking funding from us as opposed to the 1, and we've given them a substation. And now budgeting for 2026, we budgeted $25,000 and anticipate 20 of that being a donation for operating expenses to Westier EMS. So that's a significant increase in investment for the township in the operating costs for the EMS, and ours will be done in the form of a donation to Westier EMS, and that'll be the first time. And I would expect that, just like the library funding that you heard, once it's in the budget, it'll be there, and I expect that number to be at least as much as it is, if not more, annually. And us try to absorb that going forward and increase funding that's needed for Westier as it's needed. And we hope to be able to budget for that as we go forward. And I don't really mean to spend that much time, but I don't want the information misrepresented. Because I'd hate for someone to suggest that you all are cutting funding for EMS, when in fact you're significantly increasing the township's investment and doing everything you can to deal with the issues of EMS, the EMS crisis that exists in Pennsylvania. So,
The number still is going down. There's a line.
Okay.
I mean, that's not misrepresentation. It's a misrepresentation
Well,
to say it's a
to suggest that
misrepresentation.
we're reducing funding, we didn't get, none of that money went to West.
The fact that we gave nothing before I got on this board does not make it any better that we're giving $25,000. You've got Westier, you've got Shaler, you've got Hampton kicking in 6 figures. So when we got an $8 million budget, I think we can do better. I'm gonna go to people, we're gonna see whether we can do better. And I hope you're receptive to bringing that back to 40 grand. So we can move on.
Okay, does
Because I'm
anybody else-
voting no, I'm gonna vote no on your budget if it's not 40 grand or higher. Next month.
Anybody else have any other comments?
Can I just go back to the original question? Just wanna make sure that, and I'm sure that we are, but we're looking into this particular incident
Absolutely.
in the background, doing a root cause analysis, trying to figure out what's going on. And as long as we're doing that, and if we could see some type of summary of that, what the cause was, what the, fix is going to be and so forth, that would help go a long way in trying to prevent this going forward. Cause it's a long time, especially if they were doing chest compressions, it's just too long. So I wanna make sure we understand what the issue is. So.
Yeah.
And I agree, like, what Paul's saying, they're doing a great job.
Yeah.
I mean, people are getting out there, a lot of these EMTs get paid $14 an hour. So, I mean, they're going up against working at Sheets, we're just, working the cash register. So, a $15,000 cut, that's 1,000 hours of EMT service that we could be having in this township. That means a lot to a lot of people.
Ms. Stolt, or Dr. Stolt, we appreciate you bringing the matter to our attention. We'll move on from the discussion, but as you can clearly see, it is one of the main topics that is paramount to us. We cover 18 square miles of the township, 7,300 residents. It is this board's obligation to ensure the safety of everyone, and we are doing our damnedest to do that, okay? But thank you for bringing that to our attention, okay? Okay. All right, there are no other folks signed up for the citizens forum, so we will look at the bills. Oh, I am so sorry. I checked the wrong box. Yes, development proposals. I apologize. The Resitano Plan of Lots, simple subdivision. Would you like this?
Hey, Mark, congratulations. On not losing.
Oh.
Oh,
I know.
Maybe put your hands down. All good, that's on us, that is not on you, Mark. Okay, just your name for the record, please.
Okay. Mark Schmidt with Hampton Technical Associates, we prepared the subdivision plan for you. This plan is a basic lot split. You have a piece of property located on Saxonburg Boulevard between the entrance to Hartwood Manor and Hartwood Acres. And the house is on one side, there's a property on the other side, to create a new lot. That's what was done. This plan was actually approved about 10 years ago, and for some reason the owner never recorded it, so I'm just bringing it back to you today.
Dan?
So, thank you, Mayor. So we also had a chance to look at the subdivision plan, and again, this is a rehash of a plan that was done 10 years ago. Not too much has really changed on the plans. We asked for some additional information, it was reviewed by the Commission, their recommendation was to approve a condition on our letter dated October 20th, 2025. Since that time, the developer's engineer has responded to each one of those comments and made the requested changes. So again, our recommendation would be to approve the Zatano plan of lots. And I would, just for keeping the same motion, recommend it approved upon condition of a letter dated October 20th.
October 20th, 25?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. Any comments or questions? What- Okay, we have a motion, Supervisor Hardwick.
Second.
Do we have a second from Supervisor
And that has-
Jorgensen?
That has according to the letter dated October 20th from the engineer. All
Yes.
conditions are met.
Yes. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. We'll send you the invoice for our new podium. Help with the budget. Now we'll move on to the bills.
Make a motion, we pay the bills.
We have a motion from Supervisor Jorgensen, a second from Supervisor Khan. Is there any further discussion on the bills? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. There is no old business on the agenda. My eyes failing me. So we'll move on to reports.
No, you'll see the reports are split into two columns. We wanted to keep this on one page.
Okay.
It wasn't easy with
Very nice.
this long agenda.
I see you changed the font size, that's how I missed it.
I can't get much smaller because I won't be able to
Maybe
read
I
this.
use these. Okay, all right, VFDs.
The next meeting of the association will be at Middle Road, December 3rd, 7 p.m.
Good. That's it? EMS? Covering that too? Done?
I mean,
You have the reports that were submitted, if you have any.
secondary report as well.
Yeah, thank
If
you.
you want me to touch on this, we're still in the review stage of it, that's why.
I don't know if you want to now. I mean,
Yeah, I
if
mean,
you, if you,
with it, I've been in contact with Mr. Anderson, my medical director of the Allegheny County Emergency Services, just pretty much everybody trying to compile everything.
and you knew, and I would note, the response time for Allegheny County was 12 minutes.
You know, we, our dispatch to, our responding time, was 12 minutes. So.
And
we
our
delayed
police,
prior to
our police
our-
were there within 2 or 3 minutes, and were on scene, well, before you arrived, at your request, at Westier's request.
So you're saying it took how long to get through 911?
So it looks like there was a significant, not significant, there was a delay prior to dispatch, prior to us being able to get alerted to the call. I have limited information on that, it's a county issue, but they are involved. So,
And for everyone, for clarification, we are talking about Ms. Stoltz'
Correct.
incident. I just want the board, everybody else to be
It
aware,
was at
that's what we're talking about.
Burn boot camp was worked out. spot.
Yeah.
And Bill's been super transparent, like I stopped by the station, he's willing to look at the tape, he's willing to go through everything, to make sure that all the protocols were followed, so I wanna really thank Bill, and Dan's been on it, so I mean, we wanna get to the bottom of it.
I can say for years, we've had, before Westier covered, we've had these issues that have come up so many times. You know, when they're talking about the response time and it's so long, is that when you're in an incident like that, every second feels like a minute. And so it always feels like a lot longer than what the record shows. That doesn't make it better. But that is consistently the case.
No, I get that, but there,
If there's some kind of issue in the system, I wanna find it. And If
Exactly.
I can
I
fix
wanna make
it,
sure
I wanna
it's
fix
right.
it, if not, I wanna make sure somebody else can. So-
exactly, if there's delays, wherever the delays are, what we do to mitigate it going forward,
That's what we want to do.
Yep, okay, thank you.
And as everybody knows, on the agenda, when you walk in, you grab the agenda, EMS is always on the agenda as well, so certainly, and these are posted to the website if you don't make the meeting, certainly. Everything is out there, and it's obviously EMS is paramount to everybody in this room, I don't care if it's a newborn or somebody's 100 years old. We need to know, and we'll get to that root cause, so we appreciate the transparency, and we're gonna get it back, okay?
And thank you very much for the additional information.
Yeah, I have a bunch, but it's not compiled yet.
Yeah.
So,
Wait till it's compiled.
Yeah, let compile and bring it
Yes,
back and we
yes.
can talk further.
Just this statement that we received
Yeah,
today is.
yeah, that was, talking with Mr. Newman, I wanted to include more, I just wanted to make sure I was getting everything we wanted, so.
Sure.
So that was a big
Appreciate
point of our conversation.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, Bill. Okay, we're gonna move on to the chief of police, Mr. Meyer. Good? Okay, thank you. Code, Jeff?
Most of you know, I had an injury, still not back to work, trying to do some things from home. But I wanted to take a minute to thank Mark and his guys, Bill. Yes.
Yeah.
All right, we're glad you're doing well, or doing better and on the mend.
And
So-
also Joe.
Thanks, Jeff.
You bet, Jeff. All right, we'll move on. Public Works, Mr. Smith. Engineer.
Thank
Mr.
you, Mayor.
Slagle, you bet.
I have nothing to report. Just
Um,
kidding.
I was hoping, that would've been a first. What do we need this for?
All I can say is it's been a very hectic month, a very busy month for the township, so let's dig in.
Before you dig in, is this for the Steelers' loss? Is this the Chargers' color or what?
You know, after what the Steelers did, this is autumn, November colors for Thanksgiving.
There you go.
Very good.
So, having said that, so on development proposals, we've already talked about the Restano subdivision plan. The two that are later on under new business is the Blue Run PRD. The one that I was remiss not putting on that report because of the numerous items was the Foxwood Trail PRD. And this plan was brought back before the Township Planning Commission at the last meeting. And what they're doing is that, as I suggested in prior meetings, the original apartment complexes that was approved by the township almost 5 years ago is being refurbished into a series of townhouses, which again, I'm very pleased about. And so it initially went through the first review of the Planning Commission. It was tabled. We'll be back before the next Planning Commission if anybody wants to come hear about the Foxwood Trails plan. Working with the solicitor, because this PRD was approved almost 5 years ago, there is a, what's the word I want? Or it's gonna be basically rescinding it and putting it back to the way that it was. So
That's right in practice, but what happens is at the end of the 5 years, if work hasn't commenced, it's deemed to be abandoned. And at that point, the township's obligated to reclassify the property to its original condition, because of course, once you adopt the PRD, that changes the zoning map as a PRD, so that's what you'll see later in the agenda, but absolutely right on the process.
So there'll be a couple other things that are gonna be different with this one, as Herb mentioned, or your solicitor mentioned, is that there will be a map revision request that'll happen prior to any action taken on the PRD representative. So moving on to development act.
We just have to, so we're gonna remove the PRD from the map,
And basically put it back to the zone that it was.
and then eventually maybe put it back on.
And if the supervisors approve the new PRD with the township, the townhouse concept, then that PRD would again.
And now that it's coming in under the new PRD ordinance?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good, thank you.
So you'll have an opportunity to see how that works with the new ordinance.
Great.
Just to be clear, right, this reclassification doesn't indicate any opinion of the board whatsoever on a new application. This is strictly really an administrative task that needs to be done.
It's just to prevent this zombie PRD zone that nobody can build on because it came from previous
Sit
ordinance,
there,
correct?
dormant
Correct,
forever.
because, right, you're correct. I've never heard it described that way, but the zombie.
Abandoned
the
zombie, okay.
That can be
Okay.
yours.
If I do a presentation, I'm gonna use it, thank you.
So moving on to the Courtyard and Hidden Falls subdivision, the developer did put in a request for the township to take over that plan. We did go out and did what was called a final inspection, if you will. We did prepare what I'm gonna call a vanilla final matters letter. We do have plans on meeting with the developer to go over more pertinent details. We do have plans on meeting with the HOA of the Hidden Falls subdivision and going over their concerns. And at some point in the future, once all these matters have come to some conclusion, we'll bring it forth to the supervisors for your consideration. But until then, we've done what we're required.
And we've already given the infrastructure, the roads over, we've taken that, right?
Roads belong to the township, yes.
So we salt and then plowing.
And you do still hold a performance bond amount of $118,300. So moving on to the Heartwood Meadows Phase 4 plan. That plan is basically 100% completed. If the board recalls, the Water Authority, what I would call mold underneath the new roadway in order to provide service to the new homes. In doing so, they caused the roadway service to buckle a little bit. Speed bumps, if you will, about 9 of them. And since, so as a result of that, during the final phase of the paving project of that, we had to mill out 10 feet in each one of the directions of these, reestablish the roadway base foundation, and then of course there's a 2-inch overlay that went across everything in that particular phase. So if, I drove out there this evening, and it's, there's no humps at this particular point. And the roadway is substantial. Later on in your agenda, you'll see a request from the developer to reduce the performance bond from $464,900 down to $239,800. And also a request for the township to take over that phase of the roadway. Moving on to phase 5, if you were out there a month ago, it was all dirt. Now there's a nice stone base and an asphalt top. And if you rode through it, with the exception of the mud spots that are on it, you would think that it's a completed road system. So again, that road, the roadway base, with the exception of the final boring course, is complete. The developer has also requested a reduction in the performance bond from $1,175,900 down to $599,300. And he has also requested that the township take over that phase. While you were in your executive session, I had a brief discussion with Larry. And I also had talked to Irv, and he had some concerns about taking over that phase. And I also talked to the developer, who is more than willing to pay for and do the snow plowing. Having said all that, even though it's on your agenda and I put it there, we may want to consider leaving, not taking over phase 5. And the Public Works Department said they could very easily turn around there. So I'll leave that for your consideration. I didn't think about this a little bit earlier, but I think we might want to hold off on phase 5, taking that over. On the Blue Run Road PRD.
That's item D, 11D.
Yeah, they're kind of, we can separate them.
Well, we can table D.
I'm sorry, yes, I'm sorry.
Yeah, they're
It
two
is
different
separate.
items.
Yeah, well, table D. So on Blue Run Road, they started construction on April 9th, 2025. If you've been out there, all the grading is basically done at this particular point. The roadway slots have been cut in. I do anticipate them paving this year, but we'll see how far they get. And they have also requested a performance bond reduction from $1,898,800 down to $1,344,000. On the Forest View plan, we've been watching them go through some of the corrective measures there. The original $25,000 cash bond that we hold is still in place. They haven't drawn that down, so they still have more work to do, and we'll see where that goes. On the Frederick Farms PRD plan, right now they have not requested the solicitor or myself to put forth the developer's agreement. They have secured almost every third-party approval of that particular plan. We do have on your agenda this evening the approval of the sewage planning module, or the passage of that resolution. The reason why that's required is because the sewage treatment plant providers under consent orders with DEP, it requires everybody basically to sign off on it. On Indiana Trails, no action there, except through the court system itself. At the Harmony at Harts Run, I have nothing to add there with the exception of that the CEO and solicitor are pursuing that. On the Trinity timbering plan, That permit has been issued. I am anticipating the trees to come down in that particular area, but I haven't seen it yet. Ottawa Hills, nothing to report there. On the MS4 annual report that's been submitted on your behalf, the next one is due September 2026. On the People's Natural Gas, if you were out there riding Richland Drive and Highview, they cut across our road system. So in working with the People's Natural Gas, we had our asphalt company go out there and pave those specific areas. And right now I'm preparing the necessary reimbursement for us. So all that's gonna be reimbursed to the township at People's Natural Gas cost. So that money will be flowing back into the township. On the Emerling Park ADA Access Project, we finished up the plans and specifications on Phase 3 sidewalk, if you've been out there. And we're gonna be opening bids on December 11th through North Hills Council of Governments. On the community center, that project was started on October 9th. It has been completed, so that your township community center roof is now intact. It has a, I can't remember, is it a 20 or a 30-year warranty on that roof system? 30? Thank you. And I will have an estimate number 3 for the township's consideration amount of $102,592.50. And we will have the closeout documents prepared by your next meeting. 2025 paving project was also started October 9th. The roads that we utilized were selectively milled. They put an asphalt surface out there. Now this year I did put together a new asphalt mix, which I'd like to call it the Sligo Special. You can call it Juicy. But what I did was I bumped the asphaltic content from about 5.4% up to about 6%. And if you look at that road system, besides the fact that I'll say that the asphalt is pitch black.
It makes a smoother finish.
It is a really smooth finish, and I think that's gonna become our standard from now on.
After the first rain though, it gets really slick.
But just to add on to what the prior citizen said about the paving company, once I did hear about the concerns that were out there, I went out there and rode the road system. I met with all the traffic control. They had anywhere from 2 to 5 traffic flaggers out there at any one time. They didn't know me, I didn't know really them, but they were very cordial to what I asked. I also called the school system, and they said that they were properly notified. And even though one of the buses, I think, did turn around or something like that, but they're private bus companies, and I'm not sure what their protocol was, but everything was a great success. I was out there, the traffic flow was very uniform, and like I said, we've used Shields Paving Company. I personally used them for probably close to 35 years. They also did Harwood Meadows that we just talked about.
I can tell you, the offices only had one complaint, and we did have a number of compliments for the transitions for driveways and walkways that were handled by that contractor. So, my thanks.
They're one of my favorites. That and Youngblood Paving. So I have that for your consideration later on. The Brozick Community Center, I just put on the back burner. You're gonna hear a little bit about the solar panel ordinance that the solicitor put together and the need for that, so we don't become the recipient of a solar panel farm out here. So that'll help provide some level of control over that. And then finally, we put in the 2026 grant application with the help of your manager. And just as an aside, they bumped the dollar figure from 25 grand to 50, so we're looking at 50 grand worth of grants. And I'm done.
Any comments? All right, thank you, Dan. Move on to our solicitor, Mr. Furman.
Thank you, Mayor. I do not have a report this evening.
I have nothing to add at this time, either mayor.
All right. Parks and Recs is not here, Historical is not here, Supervisors, District 1,
Nothing this time?
District 2.
I have received several comments from people about how they really appreciate the fact that we paved a lot of roads that really needed it. As Dan just mentioned, I really haven't heard more than one complaint, appreciative of the fact that we take care of these roads before they're impassable. So I thank our crew and the paving company for doing that.
Anything else, Al?
No, that's all.
All right, thank you. District 4?
Nothing to report.
District 5?
Two things, real quick. So I got a message after the election from our newly elected county council representative, Lisa Geiger-Schulman, and said, let's get that crosswalk done. I think you know what crosswalk I'm talking about, Beechwood Farms, by now if you tuned in regularly. So hopefully we got a friend at the county level that can help with that. Another issue was a lot of the folks, the long-term residents at Heartwood Meadows have been very frustrated with a lot of traffic that's gone on, the speeding of the different construction vehicles on phase 4, phase 5. I said some of their concerns to Dan, and one thing that was really nice was Dan worked with Chief Myers on Halloween to make sure those guys wrapped up, cleared out of there, made sure the kids were able to trick or treat without any construction issues. So that was a big hit with the community. So I want to thank both Dan and Chief Myers for making that happen.
All right. Anything else, John?
Nope.
Okay, all right. District 3, I'll conclude the reports. Just a couple of items myself. First and foremost, along Rich Hill Road, Boat Run in our district, we have a shared road there with Farmer Township, and we've got some fallen trees laying on Verizon wires, and that's been a problem. We've been calling Verizon. They've come out once or twice already. I received probably a half a dozen calls over the last 2 weeks. A couple are leaning again. Our folks cannot touch those wires. They never will. They should not. So Verizon is actively engaged. You really have to keep on them. So we continue to do so. I've let my folks know that are calling me, and we're taking care of business there. Secondly, just a quick item. A lot of us do attend various conferences throughout the year, typically one a quarter. Indiana Township, as we all know, and I do tout this in my letter from the mayor, is essentially that we have been a banner community from the program's inception. If we go to PSATs in the middle of the state in Harrisburg, if we go to Seven Springs for the Allegheny League of Municipalities Conference, I'm very proud of all the work that gets done here. I mean, we're small, second-class township, 7,300 residents, 18 square miles. I think I got that right. But bottom line is very proud to say we set the standard up there, and we may not be number one, but we're top 5 second-class township. So I know this boardroom has its challenges from time to time. I've been around long enough where I've seen it packed. We've had Channel 4, Channel 2 here in various occasions, but things get done, and people do come up to our manager and they're asking questions about how we do things. So I want to always communicate that we do our best, and we're going to continue to do our best. And it's nice to get a little bit of recognition for what everybody up here has a thankless job. We know that, but we appreciate the opportunity to serve, and we're going to continue to do that. And I just wanted to add that because I've left these conferences feeling pretty good, pretty lucky that we're part of a really strong community. So, okay.
Thank you, Ben. I would point out that you did ask again about the street light at the end of your road.
Well, yeah, I did.
And I've had that turned in several times.
I know.
Make sure the chief knows. And
Yeah.
I've called down there, and I know they've checked several times. I know it's been reported several times, but it's still not fixed.
I know things get done, and I know the process takes some time. It's okay.
I know you
I'm not
brought it up
beating
in the
anybody
meeting,
up here. Okay.
Because you sent that text and reminded me.
For sure, for sure. Okay, all right, so that does conclude the reports. Can we have a motion to accept the foregoing reports?
Foregoing reports.
Second that.
We have Supervisor Khan with the motion, Supervisor Newman with the second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Correspondence, Sam?
And the first item is range resources, the Fraser Township's required notification from range for Fraser wells. It's called Schiller Gerald Unit 7H and H. And next is the County Health Department air quality permit notification. They sent us a notification that it's the 280 Little Deer Creek Valley Road, Cheswick, and the application is available for inspection until December 5th.
All right, that's all we got for
Yeah,
correspondence? That's it?
That's it.
And
Alright.
DEP,
Yeah,
service
DEP
line.
and, I'm missing the one from the county health. Oh, here it is.
Air
Sorry.
quality permits.
It was stuck in there for Carl Denninger. That's the public comment notifications for till Monday, November 17th. The air quality permits for the operation of existing air pollution sources within our area.
Anybody have any comments on correspondence? Nope. Okay, we'll move on to new business. First
Business,
item.
Mayor, the first item is the possible approval to pay final estimate to Shields Paving for the 2025 paving. You have a copy of that before you. The amount now payable is $511,495.95.
I'll make a motion to pay the final amount for Shields paving for the 2025 paving project to the amount of $511,495.65.
We have a motion from Supervisor Hertwick, a second from Supervisor Khan. Is there any other further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Next item, Dan.
Next, Mayor, is possible approval to pay the final estimate to S&N Roofing for the Town Hall Community Center roof replacement project. And that's the final estimate, the amount of $102,592.50.
I'll make a motion to pay the final estimate to S&N Roofing for the Town Hall Community Center roof replacement project in the amount of $102,592.50.
Bless you.
Bless you.
Bless.
I'll
Second.
Third.
Okay, we have a motion from Supervisor Newman, a second from Supervisor Khan. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
Next, Mayor, is the possible authorization to prepare a resolution to accept the roadways in Hartwood Meadows Phase 4.
Make a motion to authorize the resolution to accept the roadways in Hartwood Meadows Phase 4.
We get a second?
Second.
Okay, Supervisor Jorgensen with the motion, Supervisor Hertwick with the second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. We
Thank
talked
you.
about D, Dan?
Item D, we don't need to do anything on it, just we won't be taking action on that item.
All right, so we do not need a motion to table, we're just gonna
No.
ignore it as if it were never there.
Well, just not taking action.
It's not taking action on it. Okay, all right, move on.
And the next item is the possible approval to reduce the performance bonds for Hartwood Meadows Phase 4 and 5. I think the engineer outlined that in his report. And that was the reducing the bond for Hartwood Meadows Phase 4 from $464,900 to $239,800. And for the Hartwood Meadows Phase 5 from the $1,175,900 to $599,300.
And I guess I understand, Dan, before, but why are we reducing 5 already? When they seem that we could do a work.
So they did all of the earthwork is complete at this point. All of the storm sewers are in. So they've done a substantial amount of work on Phase 5. All the detention basins are in. Obviously, there's some things like the trash racks and things like that. All the basins are in.
Most of the infrastructure's in, I would expect to see permits or in the next month.
And we're leaving enough for everything else?
Actually, 110%
Correct.
of everything else. So we were keeping more than 100% of the cost of everything else.
Board's pleasure.
I'll make a motion to approve the reduction of performance Shields Phase 4 and 5 as stated in the engineer's report.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion, we have a second. Do we have any further discussion?
I'm voting no out of solidarity with my constituents who are frustrated with this contractor.
Okay, so, the motion does pass 4-1. Let's, I think I messed it up, sorry. We'll call for a vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Nay.
Motion passes 4-1 with Supervisor Newmer dissenting. Next
Okay,
item?
Item F, Mayor's possible reapproval of Blue Run PRD. That's the consolidation plan and subdivision plan, and this is for recording purposes only. They missed the 90-day window for recording, and that's what, that requires the reapproval for them to record that subdivision plan.
I'm gonna make a motion to reapprove the Blue Run PRD, as this is no change to the approved PRD, simply just updating the approval so that the county will issue the proper documentation.
Record the plan.
We have a motion. We have a second.
Second.
We have a motion from Supervisor Khan, a second from Supervisor Jorgensen. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Next item, please.
Is the possible approval to reduce the performance bond for the Blue Run development?
I'll make the motion to reduce the performance bond for the Blue Run Road PRD development from $1,898,800 to
Yeah.
$1,344,000.
Thank you.
I'll second that.
We have a motion from Supervisor Hertwick, a second from Supervisor Khan. Is there any other discussion?
Just a
Go
couple
ahead.
questions. I'll go back to, if you look at Blue Run, then a couple of things. There's not even base coat yet, on the road, right?
The slots are just getting cut in there. It's all dirt.
And then the other thing that has me concerned is, if you look at that, at least from 910, the slopes there that they have, they're basically dirt right now, because they haven't gotten the grass on or whatever they're putting on. I still think there's a lot of opportunity for slide there. And with this, if we reduce the performance bond, if there's a slide, what would happen there?
So, I've established like a new policy for the township in that we do not personally inspect any of the geotechnical. And in your packets this evening, you're gonna see a letter from Pittsburgh Stocking, Pittsburgh Soil and Rock.
He's sealed that, right?
And what you're gonna find, as per the developers agreement that Irv and I have put together, there's a new catch for the developer as part of that agreement. That basically, the geotech is admitting to the fact that he's in total control of the earth moving, the cuts and fill, and that it was installed in accordance with the geotechnical design that he did, and that if there, and he's also stating in this, I wish I could find it here, but the phraseology that we now require him to commit to oh, here it is. Looks like this in your packet. At least, maybe it's not in your packet. But anyways, what it says in here is that Pennsylvania Soil and Rock provided construction monitoring testing services during the completion of the bulk earthwork operation of that particular plan between blah, blah, blah. Our daily observation and testing results were previously submitted to us. It is our professional opinion that the earthwork operation, as documented in our daily reports, were completed in general accordance with the approved plan specification using industry, obviously, accepted means and methods. Based on our site observations, evaluations during those times, it is our professional opinion that the site is stable, suitable for supporting the proposed residential structure and infrastructure, and not susceptible to sliding as constructed. So that's the statement that's now signed and sealed by this company. Now, where we run into a little bit of problems with any development, that if we interject what these part of ways and means into anything like this, we start assuming that risk. When I start assuming that risk, the township starts assuming that risk. So this way, at the end of this statement, this document is here, so if you're gonna sue anybody, you're gonna sue these folks. So you're a direct conduit to that. Now, is the township gonna get enjoined on a lawsuit? Sure. Could it slide? Sure. Has any of the other 10 developments that we've installed slid? No. Has there been development that have slid? Yes.
I'm just concerned, because we're heading there, obviously, in the winter, and there's not gonna be any more growth in those hillsides until spring, probably. That's a long time.
Yeah.
For that. And what are we, if we reduce the bond, what are we relieving them of the obligation? Why would we be reducing the bond?
We're reducing the bond in accordance with the municipal planning code that says when they've completed a task in accordance with the township standards, they can request a reduction.
And this rating is part of that task that they've completed, and we're relying on that document to say it's completed with satisfaction.
Right now, this document is for Arlington Meadows, but they're gonna provide them.
Have they provided it?
No.
Oh, then why would we approve the reduction without that approval?
Well, let me ask it the other way around. What do you believe is gonna slide?
That,
Why do you believe it's gonna
I
slide?
don't, it's just, it's so thick and steep.
It's a
I've
2-to-1.
seen it, yeah, it's a
It's a
little
2-to-1 slope.
Yeah, it's a steep slope up there.
That's our standard.
I know, but it hasn't been verified that it's been put in with, according to business standard, right?
Well, what you could do as I guess, midway, is to approve the reduction conditioned upon getting an interim letter from the geotechnical consultant.
Or we could just postpone it until we get the letter, right?
Yes, but I'm not sure if you're going against the NPC or not.
But the issue you
Now
have
we'll go to
is,
Earth.
what they're asking for the credit for is work that's been completed.
But if it hasn't been completed to the
Well,
standards,
the work that hasn't been completed is not being deducted, reduced.
The township engineer, I believe, has already communicated with them and issued his opinion that the work's been completed. So, the township engineer's already made a determination that this work was satisfactory to him. You know, if he was gonna communicate to them that he was not satisfied with you need to do that, then there's a process under the municipality's planning code that would have required him to justify why he withheld their money, right? I mean, so the developer prepares with his engineer a request for a reduction in the performance bond. That's reviewed by the township engineer. It's not an arbitrary process. You'd have to have justification for doing it.
more so than those, they're just thinking steep, that's all.
Well,
I mean, honestly, yeah, right? I mean, it's,
we also have about 30 pages of geotechnical reports that we reviewed, and every single one of them, with the exception of one day, have all been within compliance of the testing results, the 95% prop through the whole thing. And it's done under their daily supervision. But, I mean, I don't have a problem with the motion being conditioned upon getting an interim letter.
Okay, we do have a motion and we have a second.
but I think he wants you to add the condition.
Okay.
Want to withdraw, whoever made the motion, said they want to.
Sarah, would you like to amend your motion?
I will amend my motion to to approve, what is this, we are at, let's see, 11G, to reduce the performance bond for Blue Run Development from $1,898,800 to $1,344,800
Conditioned upon
conditioned
receipt
upon the receipt of
from
the,
the geotechnical engineer stating that the earthwork was installed under their supervision
And satisfaction.
and satisfaction.
Okay, thank you.
okay, there it is.
Okay,
Dave
we
will
have,
second that.
we have an amended motion. Jennifer, you good with that?
Yes.
All your second?
Okay.
Yeah, well, no, I think
Or
someone
John?
else.
Who was
Yeah.
second?
I will second
Al.
the
I
amendment.
think Al seconded.
Yep, we have a motion, an amended motion from Supervisor Hardwick. We have a second from Supervisor Khan. Is there any further discussion on this motion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
Next item, Mayor, is the possible approval of Frederick Farm Sewage Facilities Planning Module, Resolution 2025-07 for the plan revision.
I make a motion to approve plan module resolution 2025-07.
Second.
Have a motion from Supervisor Jorgensen, a second from Supervisor Newman. Is there any other discussion on the motion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously.
Next, Mayor, is the possible approval to pass concurring resolution 2025-08 for the 2025 North Hills Cog Emily Park ADA Sidewalk Phase 3 project.
I make a motion to pass, concurrent resolution 2025-08.
Second.
We have a motion from Supervisor Jorgensen, a second from Supervisor Hardwick. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion passes unanimously. Next item?
Next, Mayor, as was touched on a little earlier, is the possible approval to advertise a public hearing for a proposed amendment to the zoning ordinance to advertise and regulate solar energy systems.
Make a motion to approve the advertising of the public hearing for the proposed amendment to zoning ordinance for the solar energy systems.
Second.
It's just, there's actually to authorize and regulate.
Exactly.
Solar energy
Yes.
systems, what it is.
Are we clear? We have a,
In the public hearing would need to be 60 days out, so.
Yes.
February.
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 We'll make it in advance of your February meeting, and you think that half hour would be sufficient?
oh, yeah. 30 minutes.
Yeah, I think it should be.
Yeah.
Why is it?
I don't have that here. I did.
It's February
Always hopeful, Chris.
11th. February.
Thank you.
And why is it such a long wait, Earl?
You got
60 days for review.
You need 45 days to the planning commission of the county planning commission.
Oh.
County.
So they need 45 days, that's why it's 60.
It's a
So 'cause
turnaround
January-
for them to have the review and us to get that response before the year.
Because January is such an early meeting.
Can't get enough time.
Yeah.
We run out of time right on this is the first,
This
this
is
is
the reorg.
reauthorization.
I think it'd really be pushed if we tried to squeeze it in. Couldn't, I don't think we could get it. Yeah, we're tight unless you're asking county for response.
Yeah.
And we have agreement?
Things stop the Monday before, Thanksgiving for.
Okay.
We have agreement? Okay, all right, so we have a motion from Supervisor Jorgensen, a second from Supervisor Khan.
You think?
Yes, any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
The next, Mayor, is the possible approval to schedule and advertise a public hearing on an ordinance to amend the zoning map and reclassify the zoning of the properties located on Little Deer Creek Road designated as block and lot numbers 957K 175 and 957K 143 by the Allegheny County Office of Property Assessments from PRD, Planned Residential Development, to MDR, Medium Density Residential. Now, you don't have to repeat that if you just want to make a motion as moved.
I make a motion to approve item K on the agenda.
Very good, Paul.
I'll second that.
All right, a motion from Supervisor Jorgensen, a second from Supervisor Newman. Any further discussion?
You can tell it was worded by the solicitor.
All those in favor? favor, say aye. Aye. Motion passes unanimously.
Also February 11th.
Also for February 11th, the same public hearing as well.
Might as
Okay,
well.
well,
Might as well.
join the club, huh?
Okay.
Okay, then the next, Mayor, is the possible approval to advertise the 2026 budget.
I'll make a motion to advertise the 2026 budget.
Second.
We have a motion from Supervisor Khan, a second from Supervisor Newman. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you all, and you have a copy of the list for the volunteer list for the tax credit. That's required to be given to you all and have your approval. So I'd ask for your approval of that volunteer list for the tax credits.
I'll make a motion to approve the volunteer list for tax credits.
We have a motion from Supervisor Newman, a second from Supervisor Khan. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously.
Yeah, none of you have relatives on that list, right?
I don't.
Just
Just
making
making
sure.
sure, because if you did, we wanted
Let me see.
Does anybody have relatives on this list?
I'm just checking. Nope.
Nope.
I mean, I'm
Anybody
probably
vote
related to
on
half
all
of
this?
them
I
in
just
some
don't want,
way.
I don't want you to be in a position of voting on something.
I'm just kidding, I'm
How
just
far
kidding.
back we going?
Yeah, how many generations back do we have to go? No, I'm
I'm
not
not
related.
saying anything,
Wow.
but we're not
I just want to make sure.
Sorry.
I'm not related to anybody on this list.
That's our first one, so hopefully, you know.
All right, final item.
And, the next item.
Hold
Oh,
on a second.
John's
We have
favorite.
2 public hearings on February 11th, and we just set aside 30 minutes, I think 60 minutes would be more adequate.
Total.
Well,
So, listen.
the only thing that I would say to you, Mr. Khan, is the item K is, it's very ministerial. I don't think it'd be a big,
I don't,
would anticipate a lot of time.
I think we'll fit them both in the 30 minutes.
Okay.
Because I think you'll be able to go through that first item. I mean, it's just making that change back to MDR.
It'll take longer to read it probably.
Right, that'll be the longest part of it, the title.
Do we know what those public hearings on February 14th? Do you guys?
No.
Nearly got me
It's the
divorced
February-
25 times. Okay, all right. So,
Okay.
next item.
The possible, you got the volunteer list, the 2-year agreement with Hoffman Boarding Companies.
Yes, that's.
Yeah. Yeah, the change being in item F is the per call is increased from 100 to 120. That is the big change for the agreement, and I'd ask for your approval of this 2-year agreement. It's the same provider as we've had for decades.
And the 120 was built into the new budget?
Yes. Everything was increased, as you see.
I make a motion to approve the 2-year agreement with Hoffman Boarding Companies.
I'll second.
We have a motion from Supervisor Jorgensen, a second from Supervisor Khan. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion passes unanimously.
We got one day.
We got 1 day.
Oh, I apologize.
We gotta get these dogs to don't feel shoulder, but
Okay,
I'll work on
okay.
that. I got 2 years, I feel these.
Let me correct the record, Jennifer. Jennifer, that motion passed 4-1 with Supervisor Newman in opposition. That does take us to the last item, which is adjournment.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Supervisor Khan with the motion, Supervisor Jorgensen with the second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion passes unanimously. We are adjourned. Good evening, everybody.
Hey, thank you all. I really appreciate it.